Hi guys, it's Ankita. Welcome to Enchanted Bookends. In this video, I'm going to talk about The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. This is a brick of a book, but this is a brick of pure gold. It is 650 pages, almost 650 pages, but it is absolute gold. I think this should have won the Booker Prize. It was shortlisted for Booker Prize in 2023. There are no spoilers in this video, so if you haven't read the book, this is me convincing you to read this book. In this one, we follow the four members of the Barnes family. Now, the Barnes family live in a town where they have a dealership, and they made a lot of money selling cars the previous decades, but now it's the economic crash and nobody's buying cars. Nobody is spending a lot of money, so it's a slowdown, and it's an economic downturn. Things are tough. The Barnes family is suffering, but the Barnes family is a huge family. By huge, I mean their name is huge. They sponsor the local football club. They're just well known. Everybody knows them. Everybody knows their rise, and now everybody's watching their fall. And it's not easy to go from riches to rags, and we follow four members of the family. We start with Cass. Cass is the eldest daughter in the family. She's in that phase of life where she is in her last year of high school. She's really looking forward to moving away, going to university, but at the same time she is all about her friends, boys, and it's drinking. It's just that teenage life, a stressed teenage life, and things are not going well at home. Cass is just trying to find her place somewhere other than her home. And through her eyes, we get introduced to a lot of these characters that we end up following. Second, we follow PJ. PJ is the son in the family. He is younger than Cass. I think he must be 13 or 14, although I don't think his age is mentioned anywhere in the book. But his was a story that I found very difficult, not very difficult, but kind of difficult to get into. But it only took me a few pages to really get into his mindset, because he's into gaming and texting like teenagers text. But he's a smart kid, brilliant kid. He is totally into climate, into nature, knows all these wild facts, and he's into gaming. Did I say that? Yes, he's into gaming. But poor guy is really struggling. There's some bullying, and PJ. And then we follow Imelda. Imelda is the mother Barnes. She's a mother in the family. The author gives us her entire story, how she came to be the part of the Barnes family, and I found that story absolutely, like, I was invested in this story. Although I found Imelda's part really difficult to read, like I physically read the entire book, and that's what I would recommend. If you want to read this book, I would say, if possible, read a physical copy or like an ebook. Do not listen to the audiobook unless that's the only option you have. Read every single page, every single line, pay attention to it, and I'll tell you in a bit why. Anyway, Imelda's part was very difficult to follow because the author kind of uses the stream of consciousness to tell her story. There are no punctuations. So imagine a paragraph with no punctuations. It gave me a headache. I was moaning. I was so disappointed. I really resisted enjoying her part of the narration, like really resisted it, because no punctuations was giving me a headache. Imagine a paragraph, multiple lines, multiple sentences, no punctuation. It was not just one long sentence. Okay, anyway, as a writer, that gave me an immense headache, but the story is so good that I kept reading, and I'm glad I did, because her story is the one that it felt like I was reading about a real person. Like, her character is so realistic. That's the thing about Paul Murray and all the characters that I found in this book. They are all so very realistic. The author knows his characters inside out, like knows everything about the characters, and so he's able to describe them in detail, describe their personalities in detail, bring them to life in this book on these pages. It's an immense triumph according to me. Anyway, I was talking about Imelda, so yeah, we follow her story, how she comes to be part of this, where her marriage is at the moment. Is she struggling? How is she dealing with the economic crisis, right? The financial crisis. And then we follow the father in the family, Dickie Barnes. Dickie Barnes. His story was heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Like, the author gives us his backstory. Dickie Barnes is a character I don't think I'll forget. Ever forget. So Dickie Barnes is also struggling. He's struggling to pull his family out of this crisis. He's struggling to keep everyone together, to keep it together in general. He is the bookish kind of person, a very bookish person. He is not very street smart, but he is a darling. I felt like I got 4 stories in this one book. But all of these 4 stories, they marry well together because they are all part of the family. We're following members of the same family. There are a few side characters that touch all of their lives without the others knowing that that same character has touched their life. It is just brilliantly done. This book has everything that a family drama, a story set in a place, in a house would have. There's a place, a shelter, which every member of the family has a history with. It's so wonderfully thought through, and the way the story is told is absolutely perfect. So I would say, like, mostly 500 pages of this book is just us getting to know these characters, and also for Dickie and Imelda, we find out what their past was like and then what the present is like. The last 100 pages, just the last part, is like the pacing of the book. It just picks up, and then you are at the edge of your seat, just waiting to find out what's gonna happen. This is one of those books that I need to talk about the ending, but I'm not giving any spoilers, no spoilers whatsoever. But do let me know if you want me to make a video with spoilers talking about the ending of this book. The ending of this book is a bit ambiguous. You can imagine a happy ending if that's what you want to do, or a bleak one. It's up to you, totally up to you. But I would say pay attention to every small detail in this book. Take your time to read this book. It took me 21 days. I think it took me 21 days to read this book. I savored it. Absolutely loved it. There were times when I just wanted to throw this book across my room because of the punctuation. I as a reader, I suffered. But the story is so good, so strong, that I cannot, for the life of me, hold a grudge against the author for experimenting with punctuation. Like, I'm not gonna do that. It's still a brilliant accomplishment. This is honestly a book that is so, like, we're following the family during a dark period of their lives, and the author still manages to inject humor, and you will laugh. Like, laugh out loud. Another thing is the theme. Climate change is a theme in this. Imagine climate change, a theme in a family drama. Like, what? And still, it is outstanding. Okay, let's talk about the title of this book, The Bee Sting. Read the book till the very end to actually understand the meaning of the title, The Bee Sting. I feel like I'm missing something, but yeah, it felt like 4 books in one. Excellent. Take your time, savor this book. This is 650 pages. It might seem like a lot to you, but I promise once you start reading, once you get into the story, it won't feel like 650 pages. 100 years later, a century later, this book is going to be one of those books that you read that you study at universities. It will be included in the courses, because this is just one of those books that experiments so much with literary devices. This book is why I love literature. When you think that everything has been done, so many books have been published, till date, right? And you feel like everything has been done, and then authors write books like these and you're like totally blown away. Wow. So this spring, if you want to slow down, try this book. I think you will love this book if you love literary fiction, if you like books, authors who experiment a little bit, if you don't mind ambiguous endings at the end of 642-44 pages. It's a huge investment, so if you are someone who does not like ambiguous ending, this book might not be for you. But if you like putting puzzles together, read this book, The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. Couldn't recommend it more. The best family drama I've read till date. Alright, do let me know in the comments down below if you have read this book, or if you're planning to read The Bee Sting, or if you've read any other book by this author. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye.